हरे कृष्णा नीता माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरु महाराज की जय, प्रीतिदासी फ्रॉम शार्लोट, एंड हैप्पी वसंत पंचमी टू ऑल. हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna, Pritidasi Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरु महाराज की जय, हैप्पी वसंत पंचमी.
Hare Krishna माता जी. Hare Krishna, Krishna Lakshmi Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining the call. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharajas, and all glories to the assembled devotees. And happy Vasant Panchami to everyone. Hare Krishna, this is Tiffany in Pennsylvania.
Hare Krishna, Tiffany Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji, all glories Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaji's. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Raleigh.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji. Go ahead, Mataji.
That's okay. Go ahead, Mataji. I'll go after you.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji. Dhanavad Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Shyamagauri Devidasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Shyamagauri Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Today I miss your darshan. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj. All glories to assembled devotee. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit.
Hare Krishna, Mohini Lakshmi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to the assembled devotees. Yashamati from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashamati Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Is there anyone else who would like to introduce themselves?
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Gaur Devidasi from Texas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Is there anyone else who would like to
Prabhuji did
introduce
not
themselves?
join yet, right?
I think so, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Do you see?
Yes. Yes, he has not joined it.
Yeah, it's not there, Mataji.
We can start the introduction.
Yeah, okay. Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So, thank you so much to devotees for joining the call on this very wonderful day of Vasant Panchami. And so now we will be moving on to our next session. So before moving to the section, I will hand over the call to Shureshwar Shyam Prabhuji to give brief introduction about his grace, Jivana Gaur Haridas Prabhuji. So Hare Krishna, Shureshwar Shyam Prabhuji, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining the call. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. So brief introduction about Jivana Gaura Hari Prabhuji. His grace Jivana Gaura Hari Prabhuji was associated with ISKCON for the past 22 years. Prabhuji is a disciple of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. He is a sector leader for South Chennai zone with more than 25 Bhakti Vrukshas. Every year he takes hundreds of devotees to Mayapur and Jagannath Puri Dham proficient in Tamil with his articles getting regularly published in Tamil BTG magazine. His online classes on Chaitanya Leela attracts numerous devotees worldwide. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Back to you, Mataji.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gauravat Govinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama
Prabhuji
Rama.
is here, Mataji.
Prabhuji said yes, yeah, he just yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Shri Prabhuji, for that introduction. Hare Krishna and Jivan Gaur Haridas Prabhuji, thank you so much for joining the call and giving your valuable time and association today morning to glorify on the topics of various acharyas. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. I'll hand over the call to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. My humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who have assembled here, especially in this auspicious day of Vasanta Panchami, to hear about the glories of Pundarika vidyanidhi, RaghunanadanThakur, Vishnupriya, Vishvanath, Chakravarti Thakur, and also Raghunath Goswami. So we all know that this Vasanta Panchami is greatly celebrated at Govardhan. There is a place called as Chandravar. So in this auspicious day, Vasanta Panchami, the devotees offer to Shri Radha Krishna yellow paraphernalia, yellow garments, yellow flowers, yellow dresses, yellow ornaments. Everything will be yellow, the first day of spring season. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to hear from Gita Govinda, especially what Jayadeva Goswami has written in the part of Vasanta Rasa Leela. It completely describes about the esoteric pastimes of the gopis, the love they have with Krishna. Even the moon god, on his travel, he stops briefly to see about the Vasanta Rasa Leela between Krishna and his beloved gopis. So wonderful is Vasanta Panchami. And Pundarika vidyanidhi appearance day, RaghunanadanThakur appearance day, Vishnupriya appearance day, Raghunath Goswami appearance day, and also Vishvanath Chakravarti Thakur disappearance day. So by just hearing the glories of these great personalities, one is maddened with the love for Krishna, how intensely they have developed a love for Krishna. O Gurudev, Kripa Bindu Diya. So actually we have to cry, lament, hanker to get a drop of mercy out of the love they have for Krishna. And we all know that how Pundarika vidyanidhi exhibited his ecstatic symptom, RaghunanadanThakur, Vishnupriya feeling of separation from Mahaprabhu after sannyas, Raghunath Goswami mood of renunciation as well as tremendous attachment to Mahaprabhu, Vishvanath Chakravarti Thakur, who actually was the protector and guardian as per Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in imbibing the mood and Siddhanta of Gaudiya Sampradaya. So in Chandra Sarovar, in Govardhan, Vasanta Panchami is celebrated very gorgeously, and this reflects the mood that Krishna has for his conjugal partners, the gopis. And Chandra Sarovar is the place which also reflects how the moon god is also very interested in seeing the Vasanta Rasa Leela pastimes of Lord Krishna. So this is very, very auspicious. That's why most of the temples, they offer today yellow garments with yellow flowers. First, we will be seeing about the glorious activities of Pundarika vidyanidhi, who is none other than Vrishabhanu Maharaj in Krishna Leela. Definitely, we all know that Vrishabhanu Maharaj is a celebrated personality. Why? Because he is the father of divine sweetness personified of Srimati Radharani. So the same Vrishabhanu Maharaj in Gaur Leela appeared as Pundarika vidyanidhi. Where did he appear? He appeared at Mekala Gram, which is now Chittagong at Bangladesh. Similarly, like Krishna appeared in Gokul, Nanda Maharaj celebrated that famous Utsav festival. Like that, when Srimati Radharani appeared, Vrishabhanu Maharaj celebrated the divine appearance of Srimati Radharani. Pundarika vidyanidhi's father is Maneshwar and the mother is Ganga Devi. We can have a darshan guide of Mekala Gram. So this is the entrance of Mekala Gram. So we all went twice during safari led by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, and also one more yatra exclusively for Chennai devotees. So this is the entrance place of Mekala Gram. This is the place, this is the residence where Pundarika vidyanidhi appeared here. And now actually a temple is also constructed here at the Mekala Gram. It completely has the devotional mood of Govardhan, Radhakund, Shyamakund, many more. So this place is also called as Pundarik Dham. Since because Pundarika vidyanidhi appeared here, this place is called as Pundarik Dham. So this is completely non-different from Radhakund. This place is completely non-different from Govardhan. This place is completely non-different from Vrindavan. And when devotees arrived here, there was a huge reception. The local people, they are naturally, though it's a Muslim country, they are naturally attracted to the devotion of Lord Krishna. And here is the wonderful, beautiful deity of Pundarika vidyanidhi. So here you can see wonderful, beautiful deity of Gaura Sundar and also Radha Krishna, named as Sri Vishabhanu Shyam Sundar deity. So here Mahaprabhu, he is the combined form of Srimati Radharani and Krishna. So we can see here how Mahaprabhu manifested here. So these deities were established by ISKCON in the recent time. This place, we can say, it was like a scratch, and His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, generally Prabhupada told some specific instruction that as far as Bangladesh is concerned, we should donate money to Bangladesh, and we should not get money from them. And this beautiful temple was constructed, mesmerizing deity. And one thing which I can share is that the beautiful Radha Shyam Sundar deity was being installed at Krishna Balaram temple at Vrindavan. Should be in the year somewhere around 1973-74. Those deities were carved and were taken in a truck. And when it reached Chattikara road, it was in the midnight, should be somewhere around 1 p.m., 2 p.m. Those who have went to Vrindavan, we can know that the road of Krishna Balaram temple goes straightly to the junction of Chattikara, and from right hand side is Mathura. So when the deities entered into the Chattikara road, immediately From nowhere, hundreds of monkeys, hundreds of peacocks, and several hundreds of cows, along with the calf, they were gazing and then making a peculiar sound. It means that Srimati Radharani is accompanied by cows, calves, monkeys, and peacock. Peacock, even in the midnight, using its feather in a semicircle, it all started to dance. And monkey, usually we know that actually monkey, when it makes a peculiar sound, it is in an enjoying mood. So Radharani from Chatikara Road, Radha Krishna deity, all of them accompanied, monkeys and then the peacocks and then the cows, still our Raman deity temple at ISKCON. So it means that the Radha Shyam Sundar deity is non-different from Radha and Krishna. That have been told by Prabhupada, that have been told by many Babajis in Vrindavan. And Prabhupada also told that whatever holy places or whatever desire that can be fulfilled by visiting various places in and around the Vrindavan is completely there at Krishna Balaram temple. So like that here, we are also seeing the wonderful Shri Radha Krishna deity at Mekalagram, which is should be around Mekalagram, 20 kilometers from Chittagong. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, you might have heard this term Chattagram. Chattagram now has become as Chittagong. So the opulence of Pundarik vidyanidhi, you can know that Pundarik vidyanidhi was a resident here. Then to take part in Mahaprabhu's pastimes at Navadip, he shifted his residence from Chattagram, that is the present Chittagong, to the present day Mayapur. So near to this place, Mekalagram, 30 kilometers from here is Chanhara. Chanhara is the birthplace of Mukunda Datta and Vasudeva Datta. But they had the Bhajana Stali, both these transcendental brothers, Madhukanta, Madhuvrata, who are nice singers in Krishna Leela. They had the Bhajan Stali at Mekalagram. So Mukunda Datta, Vasudeva Datta, they knew Pundarik vidyanidhi very well. They were very well accustomed, and they also knew his high position. And when Pundarik vidyanidhi was residing here, actually he was ostracized from the Vaishnava society because his fame grew in the society, that the caste Smarta Brahmanas felt envy on him. So they made a plan, and then they actually ostracized Pundarik vidyanidhi from the society. So we can see that even if a person's popularity also grow more and more in this material world, so how people would react. But this would never hamper the great exalted personalities unflowing devotional service to Krishna. This is all external. And Pundarik vidyanidhi, that was also a blessing in disguise. After that, Pundarik vidyanidhi, he shifted his residence to Navadip. Along with him, Mukunda Datta as well as Vasudeva Datta, they also shifted their residence from Mekalagram to Navadip. So Pundarik vidyanidhi had two residences, one at Mekalagram and one at Mayapur, Navadip. So when Pundarik vidyanidhi entered Mayapur, the news spread like a wildfire. Rishabhanu Maharaj, so like Nanda Maharaj is a very famous personality. Pundarik vidyanidhi also became a famous personality. Wherever he went, people will flock in numbers to get his divine association, to get his shelter, and to get initiated. And Pundarik vidyanidhi is one of the stalwart disciple of our great Acharya, Madhavendra Puri. So we can know how Madhavendra Puri empowered the divine love of Krishna to Pundarik vidyanidhi. They are Nitya Siddhas, but still in the pastimes of Gaura Leela, he was like a dashing personality. Wherever he went, he could attract people in thousands and thousands of numbers. So at this time, Mukunda Datta, he just kept a word to Gadadhara Pandit that a famous personality has come here. Let us go and then see him. Then Mukunda Datta, Gadadhara Pandit, they all went to see Pundarika vidyanidhi. And this is the place where Mukunda Datta and Vasudeva Datta did the bhajan study. So it looks like a remote village. There is a bhajan stali which we can see. So the safari devotees went there, had a darshan of Gaur Nitai deities worshipped by Vasudeva Datta, Mukunda Datta, and also the bhajan stali. So this is the Gaur Nitai, worshipable deity of Mukunda Datta, Vasudeva Datta, and in the left hand side and right hand side we will be seeing the pictures of Mukunda Datta and Vasudeva Datta. So they were so much devoted to Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu worship. And here we can also see in Mekalagram Shyamakund. So there is Shyamakund in Mekalagram. This is again a replica of the Shyamakund at Govardhan. Because Radharani resides in the Kunda of her own divine water, Radhakund. So Pundarika vidyanidhi, naturally he resides in and around Radhakund. So Radhakund means Shyamakund is adjacent. And we can also have darshan of the Radhakund here at Mekalagram. So how divine and potent this place is, we can see. Externally, apparently, it may be in a Muslim country, but the devotional mood and atmosphere, you can see how it is surpassing the other holy places. Just by coming to this place, one is imbibed with the mood of Vrindavan. And at this time, when Gadadhara Pandit came to meet Pundarika vidyanidhi, he had several doubts, because generally a Vaishnava is simple, but Pundarika vidyanidhi was wearing silken cloths and had perfume scented in his body, scented oil in his hair, and then he had golden utensils to spit the pan and the beetle, and then he was sitting on a silken asana, and then pushing his back again in the silken arena. So this made a doubt in the mind of Gadadhara Pandit. Is he really a Vaishnava? So immediately this was understood by Mukunda Datta, because even mental offense against a great personality is very detrimental. So he immediately interfered. Who? Mukunda Datta. Immediately from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 2nd chapter, 23rd sloka, he recited a verse. Aho bakiyam stanakala kotam jigam sayapaya yadapyasadvi lebe gatim datri uchitam tatonyam kambadayalum saranam brajema. So the translation of this sloka is, alas, how shall I take shelter of one more merciful than he who granted the position of a mother to Yashidam and Putana, although she was unfaithful and she prepared a deadly poison to be sucked from her breast. So this clearly indicates the mood of Lord Sri Krishna. So this is the hope for all of us. Generally, in this material world, people commit many activities and they feel guilt when they come to spiritual life. Will Krishna accept me? So Krishna is accepting Putana, who came with an internal motive to kill him, but still he granted devotion to Putana in the spiritual world as a maid servant, as a nurse in Vatsalya Bhav. So if this is the condition for Putana, what to speak of devotees who favorably do devotional service to Krishna? So this is actually the faith-giving statement to all of us this age of Kali. And Krishna is Bhava Grahi Janardana. He takes only the Bhava. She came in the mood of mother, though she smeared poison in her breast. So he took only the good qualities of Putana. She wanted to breastfeed me. Okay, that is the desire. I will fulfill that in the spiritual world. Similarly, when Bali Maharaja's daughter, Ratnamala, when she saw Vamana avatar, she was awestruck with this wonderful beauty of the child. So immediately she felt to give breast milk to Vamana. And immediately when Vamana took the form of Trivikarma, she immediately felt that, oh, my father has been cheated. So I wanted to kill this child. I wanted to kill him. You can understand. So in that way, we can understand how in Garga Samhita it is clearly mentioned each one demon in Vrindavan, what were their identity previously. So here we can understand Bali Maharaja's daughter, Ratnamala, she developed Vatsalya Bhav, and also she wanted to kill Vamana, none other than Krishna. Krishna granted the desire. So as a Putana, she breastfed Krishna, and at the same time, she wanted to kill with evil intention. But Krishna gave her a highest destination. So we can understand how merciful is Krishna and how merciful is Sri Krishna Chaitanya in Kali Yuga. So because for Bhagavan there is nothing good and bad. Everything is transcendental. In material world means everything is duality. We can understand the one thing only by understanding its opposite. But here, how Krishna gives shelter even for a person who comes with ill motive, that can be clearly understood. So this sloka was recited by Mukunda Datta to Gadadhara Pandit. So hearing the sloka, Pundarika vidyanidhi, immediately we all know that Uttama devotee or a Paramahamsa devotee or whoever is in the highest stage of Bhava, Prema, Premi Bhaktas, immediately just by hearing Krishna or some words, Akshara related to Krishna, they start to show their ecstasy. They start to show their maddened love for Krishna. Tears falling from their eyes, and then they rolling on the ground, and then Pundarika vidyanidhi tore his shirt, and then whatever came in his orbit, he just kicked those objects. So immediately Gadadhara Pandit he understood that he is a great personality who is a Premi Bhakta. So a devotee cannot be understood by external appearance, certainly no. It's actually the devotion. External appearance may be or may not be, but love for Krishna, internal devotion to Krishna is the most important factor. That was clearly illustrated by Pundarika vidyanidhi. Pundarika vidyanidhi is no ordinary person. Gadadhara Pandit is no ordinary person. Srimati Radharani and then Vrishabhanu Maharaj. So immediately to atone for this offensive mentality, Gadadhara Pandit revealed his mind to Mukunda Datta that I wanted to take initiation from Pundarika vidyanidhi. He was told to Pundarika vidyanidhi. He also accepted, saying that a spiritual master becomes glorious by accepting disciples like Gadadhara Pandit, who is none other than Srimati Radharani. So such pastime also happened here at Navadvip. And Pundarika vidyanidhi, he went to Jagannath Puri. There he took association of Swarup Damodar, because for Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the leader is Swarup Damodar. Whoever comes from Navadvip, they have to report to Swarup Damodar. So Pundarika vidyanidhi, Swarup Damodar, they were very intimate friends. And on one day, Vodana Sashti, during this winter season, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Devi, they are ornamented, and then a fresh cloth which is tinged with the starch, that will be worn as a special dress. But generally starch is considered to be impure, and whenever there is starch in the cloths, it has to be washed out and then it has to be weared. But Pundarika vidyanidhi, he was little bit apprehensive, and he was also not satisfied with the standard being practiced there. He conveyed this message to Swarup Damodar. Swarup Damodar told, there is nothing pure or impure to Bhagavan, so leave it up. Pundarika vidyanidhi told, yes, it may be applicable to Lord, but rules and regulations have to be followed by the devotees. So he was arguing with that, and then he was giving his own conclusive statement. So on that day night, when Pundarika vidyanidhi was sleeping, Jagannath Baladev appeared in the dream, and then they gave a mild slap to Pundarika vidyanidhi. You are criticizing my servant? You don't know, they are doing a service to us, instant love for us, and you are finding fault with them. Then when Pundarika vidyanidhi, he woke up, he could see that his cheeks was swollen up. And the next day morning, Swarup Damodar also came to meet him, seeing the swollen cheeks. Swarup Damodar inquired what happened, and he narrated the incident, and Swarup Damodar started to glorify Pundarika vidyanidhi. Who can be so glorious to get a slap directly from the transcendental hand of Jagannath and Baladev? Certainly this can happen only with the intimate devotees of Lord Krishna. So this was also visible. Then Pundarika vidyanidhi stayed at Jagannath Puri. He had wonderful association of Mahaprabhu and his associates. So from this pastimes of Pundarika vidyanidhi, we can understand at least three things. One is that just coming in contact with Krishna and his paraphernalia, how these devotees have developed maddened love for Krishna, that is clearly visible. And a person should not be judged by his external appearance. And then one should also not find fault with the servant of Krishna. Krishna accepts the service. So what is there for us in between Krishna and his servants? So like this, many wonderful pastimes happened with Pundarika vidyanidhi, and his more detailed pastimes are described in Chaitanya Bhagavat, which is so wonderful. So he appeared at Mekalagram, then he resided at Mayapur, then he also shifted his residence to Jagannath Puri. Now we will be seeing about the glorious activities, pastimes of Vishnupriya. She is actually completely dedicated in divine loving service of Mahaprabhu. Sri Devi, Bhudevi. So for Perumal we call it as Sri Devi, Bhudevi. For Krishna, Rukmani, Satyabhama. And for Mahaprabhu it is Lakshmipriya and Vishnupriya. So the Bhusakti or the Satyabhama appeared in Mahaprabhu's Leela as a Vishnupriya. So the divine qualities of Vishnupriya. All these devotees' pastimes are all heart-melting pastimes. Mahaprabhu appeared in this world to distribute love for Krishna through chanting the holy name. And that was possible because Vishnupriya sacrificed herself when Mahaprabhu revealed his mind to take sannyas. She told that I don't want to be an obstacle in your divine mission. So if so many of people are getting liberated and getting love for Krishna, it means that some person has done a sacrifice. And certainly here we can see Vishnupriya. In Chaitanya Bhagavat, there is a vivid description about Vishnupriya's marriage. The second marriage, first marriage was with Lakshmipriya, And when Lakshmipriya was separated from Mahaprabhu, when Mahaprabhu went to Bangladesh, she attained spiritual world. And then by the will of Mahaprabhu, Sachi Devi met Vishnupriya at the shore of the Ganges. Vishnupriya, when she saw Sachi Devi, she would bow down and then offer her respect. Then immediately Sachi Devi started to think, this girl would be an ideal bride for my son Nimai. And then we all know that how Buddhimantakan, he was the sponsor for Vishnupriya marriage. It was like a gorgeous marriage. Nimai was taken in an palanquin. Brahmanas were chanting mantras. And then there was a band troupe with a lot of musicians wandering the complete street of Navadip. And then completely perfumed with the scented water. All the roads were cleaned. And to witness this marriage festival, Lord Brahma, along with the demigods and the Devis, they all came to see the pastime, and it is mentioned that there was an air traffic of the special vehicles driven by the various devatas. So whatever pastime Mahaprabhu did from his childhood, that was witnessed by the demigods. Generally, when marriage takes place, generally the tendency is it will cause material bondage. But Chaitanya Bhagavat clearly glorifies that if a person hears Mahaprabhu's marriage with Lakshmipriya, Mahaprabhu's marriage with Vishnupriya, his bondage with the material world gets slackened and he gets love for Krishna. Because this maddened attachment may be either with material things or it can be dovetailed the lotus feet of Krishna. Like when we hear marriages of Nimai with Vishnupriya, it actually breaks the bondage. There is a term called as Hridaya Granthi. Hridaya Granthi means whatever material activities we do, it puts a tight knot and then it gives us a intimate attachment to the material world. But when we hear all these hard knots are completely slackened and removed. And Buddhimantakan, he was the sponsor. Lot of gifts were given by Sachi Devi to the Brahmanas. Mahaprabhu has all the 6 opulences, but in his pastime at Navadip, he appeared in an ordinary poor family of a Brahmana called Jagannath Mishra. But when the marriage took place, Brahmanas got things more than they expected. And whenever there were paraphernalia and whenever it were distributed, it only increased in manifold times. So everyone, it was like a wild bliss, we can say. Everyone floated in this festival of joy. And very rarely we can see the deity of Vishnupriya. One we can see at Yogapit, the birthplace of Mahaprabhu. So there we can see the deity of Mahaprabhu with Lakshmipriya and Vishnupriya. So Mahaprabhu, he lived for some years with Vishnupriya, and then he wanted to deliver this material world. Mahaprabhu's pastime, if we see, he may be so much attached to the devotees, but when the right time comes, he doesn't even look at them. And then they start to proceed further. Apparently, it may look like why they are breaking the hearts of such exalted devotees. But actually, the reason is to enhance their separation mood. The second and the important thing is to fulfill their mission for which they have appeared here. So that's why when Mahaprabhu decided to take sannyas, somehow or other, this message came to Vishnupriya. And when Vishnupriya, she asked her to Mahaprabhu, I heard a rumor that you are going to take sannyas. Is it true? These incidents are also mentioned in Chaitanya Mangal as well by Lochan Das Thakur. Because the last time conversation which Mahaprabhu had with Vishnupriya, again it is all heart-melting pastime, because they are eternal concert. They can never be separated. But when they become separated, it increases the separation mood. Internally there is a pain in the heart, but it gives the highest bliss. When Mahaprabhu enacted his pastime as a scholar, he was scholarly, he was very mischievous in his childhood days. And when he entered into the Grahastha ashram, he would not even joke with other women. And when he took sannyas, he was the perfect renounced order. Like that we can add on the transcendental qualities of Nimai. So Nimai, so when he was in this Grahastha period, Vishnupriya served her. Vishnupriya only thought is meditating on the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu decides to take sannyas. At that time, we all know that Kolavecha Sridhara brought a bottle god. He offered to Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu offered to Sachi Devi. You have to make a sweet preparation out of that. Sachi Devi was thinking, I don't have any milk, I don't have any jaggery. Then immediately there was some knock in the door. One person came and then gave milk. In my house there was a new calf born, and then I also give you some jaggery. Then immediately Mahaprabhu's desire was fulfilled. He took that sweet preparation, and then there was a discussion between Vishnupriya and Mahaprabhu. Vishnupriya directly told to Mahaprabhu, I cannot be separated from your presence. I may leave my body at any time. And Mahaprabhu consoled her. I give you the benediction. Whenever you think me in your heart and mind, I immediately appear there. And there will be no separation mood for you. And we all know that he also granted a deity, a named deity which is non-different from him. That was worshipped by Vishnupriya. And that deity is none other than Dameshwar Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu's padukas are also being worshipped. And Vishnupriya told to Mahaprabhu, so if it is your desire that you want to go and then distribute this holy name, and then you want to deliver the fallen conditioned souls, I don't want to be an obstacle in your divine mission. But my heart is like that. Mahaprabhu reciprocated accordingly. Then when Mahaprabhu left, this message was conveyed later by Vishnupriya to Sachi Devi. They were completely stunned to know that Mahaprabhu has departed. And from the local people, they came to know that Mahaprabhu gone to a place, the Ganges towards Kantak Nagar, Katwa, to take sannyas. So here, Mother Sachi's situation apparently was lamentable because she first lost her son, Vishwarupa. He took sannyas. Then actually took the loss of her husband, Jagannath Mishra. Then after separation of first daughter-in-law, Lakshmi Priya, and now the separation of her beloved son, Nimai. So it is unexperienceable. But Mahaprabhu, he also consoled Sachi Devi, circumambulated Sachi Devi. Sachi Devi was speechless. Mahaprabhu took dust from Sachi Devi's lotus feet and then he departed. And then Sachi Devi, whomever she met, she was also asking only one question. Have you met my dear son Nimai? So that is Premi Bhakta. Whoever, it may be like inconsistent in their speech, but they are Premi Bhaktas. Then Vishnupriya, then we all know that Actually, she started to lead a life of chastity. She used to have a new two pot in which she chants one round, chants almost for 9 hours a day. And during this 9 hours of chanting, whatever, for every one mala, 108 mala of Maha Mantra, she would pick the rice from one pot and put it in the another pot. And whatever handful of rice is coming, she would cook with that food, offer it to Mahaprabhu, this Dameshwar Mahaprabhu, and then take it as prasad. So when Srinivasa Acharya came to Navadip Mayapur, Vishnupriya blessed him. So we all know that how Vishnupriya, after Mahaprabhu took sannyas, she would never come out of the house except for bathing in the Ganges. She was just simply meditating on the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu is non-different from this deity. Vishnupriya father is Sanatan Mishra. Krishna Leela Satyabhama father is Satyajit. So Satyajit came here as Sanatan Mishra. And if you want to really see Mahaprabhu, Dameshwar Mahaprabhu, non-different from Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu's padukas are also being kept there. If you give a small dakshina, the pujari would put this Mahaprabhu padukas above our head to bless us. So these great personalities, these eternal consorts, how much love they have developed. You can say it is ever increasing, but still in Mahaprabhu's Leela, they are imparting a part of the drop of that mercy, and we should hanker and lament for that. Because Mahaprabhu's Leela is itself, it's only like a crying. We can see how he is making devotees to cry. Sometimes we may even ask question during Mahaprabhu's Leela. He chanted the holy name, gave Maha Mantra. Instantly people got love for Krishna. I am chanting this Maha Mantra for so many days. But are we really crying to get that mercy? And if we actually cry, though we can say that one deserves to get, but it is certainly out of the costless mercy of the Lord. He wants us to cry. In Mahaprabhu's Leela means actually it's only like a crying school. Whether it is an eternal consort or his intimate associates or with the conditioned souls, he interacts with them and then develop a strong bondage, and then he departs. Then they again start to lament, cry, thinking about the beautiful form of Mahaprabhu, the beautiful activities that he has enacted. And then now we will be also seeing the glorious pastimes of RaghunanadanThakur. RaghunanadanThakur is Cupid personified, both Kandarpa Manjari as well as Pradyumna Mishra, the Chatur Vyuha. So we all know that it's a powerful personality. So if we go to Sri Kanda, then actually we can see the Murti form of RaghunanadanThakur lying in the lap of his mother. We all know the glorious pastimes of RaghunanadanThakur. His father is Mukunda Das. He was also a physician working in the court of the Muslim king. And when the two persons who were fanning the Muslim king had peacock feather, seeing the peacock feather, Mukunda Das started to faint. And then the king asked what is the reason, but he told that it is due to epilepsy. So we can also see that how something related to Krishna, they see, they faint in ecstasy. And such glorious son is RaghunanadanThakur for Mukunda Das. And if we go to Sri Kanda, you can see the beautiful form of Mahaprabhu made out of neem tree. One at Sri Kanda, one we can find at Gaurangabari Katwan, the other one we can find it at Ekachakra. So Mukunda Das, when he went out of the home, he told to his son Raghunandan how to offer bhoga to the Lord, especially the laddus, especially the coconut sweet meat. And then we all know that Raghunanan Thakur, when he offered this bhoga of sweet laddu to Gopinath deity, out of the love he had for Gopinath, he was telling, eat, please eat, please eat. Immediately the deity started to eat. And then there was nothing kept in the plate. This was repeated for 3-4 days. Raghunandan Thakur's mother completely astonished, and when Mukunda Das came, the incident was told. And when Mukunda again gave the sweet laddu, again it was completely eaten. Now Mukunda Das, he actually wanted to see what is happening there. And then he gave the sweet laddu, and then he was hiding himself from a pillar. And again, when Raghunandan Thakur asked the deities, please eat, then the deity started to pick and then had a bite. But when Mukunda Das saw this incident, Gopinath, he didn't bite further, and he had the half-bitten laddu in his hand. Immediately, Raghunandan Thakur was embraced by Mukunda Das, saying that actually you are my father. It's true that one who imbibes pure devotion to Krishna is actually a guru and a father. And this question was also asked by Mahaprabhu to Mukunda Das. Who is the father? Mukunda Das told Raghunandan Thakur, and the same thing was also told by Advaita Acharya's son, Achyuta. Achyuta is Kartikeya. So once when sannyasi came and then asked Advaita Acharya what is the relationship between Mahaprabhu and Keshava Bharati, Advaita Acharya told the answer straight that he is the sannyasa guru. Then Achyuta, he was like a hardly few years old boy, not even wearing clothes. He came from the room, father, you are wrong. Gaura, Mahaprabhu is Lord of the universe. How can he have another guru? Then Advaita Acharya embraced him, saying that actually you are my father, I am your son. Whoever gives Krishna Bhakti, they should be considered one way, some type of gurus and also father. So one more interesting pastime also happened here. From Srikanda, 1 kilometer from that place is called as Bharadanga. So Raghunandan Thakur is Pradyumna. So Abhiramadas Thakur, he heard about the growing popularity of Raghunandan Thakur, so he wanted to see him and offer his Dandavat Pranam. But Abhiram Das Thakur, when he offers Dandavat Pranam to an ordinary person, he would die. When he offers Dandavat Pranam to Salagram Sila, if it is not original, it will break into pieces. So Mukunda Das, fearing this, he actually hit his child when Abhiram Das Thakur appeared, telling that my son has gone somewhere. But Abhiram Das Thakur was searching, and then later, by the will of Krishna, Abhiram Das Thakur could meet Raghunandan Thakur in this place. So both of them started to dance in Nama Sankirtan. Nama Sankirtan means a syringe of tears flowing in the eyes, completely showing the 8 symptoms of ecstasy rolling in the ground. And then the dance will be like a swirl wind. So Raghunandan Thakur danced in such a way that his ankle bell flew from this place of Bharadanga and fell in one more place called as Akai Hat, which is 10 kilometers far from this place. And that place is also one of his disciples' place, Krishnadas. And the ankle bell actually felt in this place, which is called as Nupur Pukur at Akai Hat. We can see in the left-hand side a small pond like that. But now that is renovated, and now it has become, because when we saw this place 5-6 years before, we could see only this small pond with the green algae. And then when we went couple of years before, now they have renovated the place in such a nice way. You can see this Nupu Pukur at Akai Hata has been renovated into a beautiful place. So it has get manifested. And the ankle bell is kept in a separate place. The place actually which it felt is Nupur Pukur, Akai Hat. And now it is kept in one more place, which is in a remote village. not far from this Akai Hatta. So Akai Hatta, so here it is also the Samadhi of Krishnadas. You can see the Samadhi, and then a beautiful Kalpa Vriksha tree. You can see the pond in the extreme left side. Then actually we can see Bhajan Sthali and also the Samadhi of Krishnadas. So such pastimes happened here. So we can see when the ankle bell flew to 10 kilometers. So what is the type of Nama Sankirtan dance they were experiencing, and what is the bliss that gives them to dance like this, we can see. It becomes very wild. They all start to float in ecstasy. So just to somehow or other meditate our mind on these glorious activities. Mind is always wild, very turbulent, uncontrollable, unstoppable. But by the mercy of these great personalities, we can also develop love for Krishna. And Vishvanath Chakravarti Thakur, his disappearance day, he appeared at the Devagram. Devagram, it's in the Nadia district. Then he shifted his residence to Murshidabad. Murshidabad means near to Ekachakra. He is one of the renowned Acharya scholar in our Gaudiya Sampradaya. Because when the chain of disciplic succession comes, at some point there may be some gap. At that time there may be some voidness. But at that time, during the 17th century, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he cleared many doubts on the practicing devotees of Gaudiya Sampradaya, and he was a stalwart Acharya. So his residence is in Sri Sri RaghunadanThakur temple. He also comes from the 4th generation, starting from Narottam Das Thakur. His Samadhi is also in the RaghunadanThakur temple. Wonderful, beautiful Sri Sri RaghunadanThakur, worshipped by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He wrote many books, more than 40 Sanskrit books. Shri Krishna Bhavanamrita, Madhurya Kadambini, the great book, Madhurya Kadambini, Sweetness, Prajariti Chintamani, Chamatkara Chandrika, Swapna Vilasamrita, Sankalpa Kalpadruma, like that, many books. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told the Goswami brothers to write transcendental books. And Mahaprabhu also appeared in the dream of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, hinting that you should write a commentary on those books. Because only when we read the commentary, we can understand many things. And one of the commentary, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that a devotee should be careful about Taranga Rangini. What is that Taranga Rangini? When one does devotional service, he gets many facilities, and when he starts to float in the waves of that bhakti, he may get power, he may get fame, he may get many facilities, and sometimes it becomes detrimental to devotional service if one is not cautious enough to follow that. So even on the bhakti path, one can fall down if one just only floats in the bhakti waves. He has to dive deeper and deeper. Bhakti means actually activities done for the pleasure of Guru Krishna, that's all. The teaching is simple, but it is very unfathomable, very, very deep. So for the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, he gives the inspiration, because at that time many devotees had so much doubts. So all the transcendental wisdom, he gave it through commentary. So we can understand from Mahaprabhu's pastime, he gave the Govardhana Sala to Raghunath Dasa Goswami, then Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami worshipped that. Then later it came to the hands of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. That's why Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that he is the protector, guardian and Acharya during the 17th century, because at the time there was some shake for the Gaudiya Vaishnavism. So why did this shaking happen? At the time, in Jaipur, we all know that the original deities of Govindji, Gopinathji was worshipped in Jaipur. Mostly the worship was done by Ramanandis, a sect of Sri Sampradaya. So they actually didn't have much respect for the Gaudiya servant. They told that you don't have any Siddhanta, you don't have any commentary. So they should be stripped from the service of Govindji and Gopinathji, and then they took it to the matter of the Jaipur king. But Jaipur king was a Gaudiya Vaishnava. He immediately sent a message to Vishvanath Chakravarti Thakur. What do you want to do at this point of time? Vishvanath Chakravarti Thakur, he took his complete shelter at Vrindavan. At the old age, he cannot even travel from Vrindavan to come to Jaipur for a debate. At that time, he sent his stalwart disciple Baladev Vidyabhushana to Jaipur. So the place which we are seeing now, this place is called as Galtaji in Jaipur. So very, very mesmerizing places. Jaipur is famous for pink building, palaces, and then the mountain region. So actually when Baladev Vidyabhushana came here, actually all the Ramanandis, they were shouting at him. If you want to speak, actually you should have some base. Either there is the Bhashya commentary or your Sampradaya. And immediately somehow or other Baladev Vidyabhushana told that I will write a Bhashya and then I will come with that in a few days. So the debate all happened here only, the place which we are seeing. A lot of Ramanandis, they all gathered here. And then Baladev Vidyabhushana didn't know what to do. He just went straight to the Govindji deity and then cried. Then in a dream told, Govindji replied that I will instruct you personally. And then in a few days it was written. And then it was completely awesome that just by hearing a few lines, they all become stunned. And then he defeated all the misconception. And then Baladev Vidyabhushana only established the Bhashya commentary, Govinda Bhashya for Gaudiya Vaishnava. Because in Mahaprabhu's time and after Rupa Goswami, no Bhashya was written because Srimad Bhagavatam is natural commentary of Vedanta Sutra. So Mahaprabhu told no need to write separately. So it was accepted by Goswamis, but not by the Ramanandis. And later on, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he enacted this pastime through his disciple Baladev Vidyabhushana. So these two great stalwart personality, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Baladev Vidyabhushana, they established the Govinda Bhashya Siddhanta for our Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So it's a very nice place. So here Baladev Vidyabhushana defeated all the Ramanandis, and the Ramanandis, they came forward to take initiation from Baladev Vidyabhushana. Baladev Vidyabhushana told that you all come from the bona fide Sampradaya, so it is an offense to initiate a person who has already been initiated in a bona fide Sampradaya. And he told that he just established Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta, but not in a mood to defeat this Ramanandis. So and this Samadhi Mandir is also located in Sri Radha Gokulnanda temple at Vrindavan. So many pastimes happened with Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. At this time there was a gloomy day because Gaudiya Vaishnavas were criticized. So they established the Siddhanta. So we can also have a darshan of his Samadhi Mandir, disappearance day. So for Lord, we celebrate their appearance day, and for Acharyas, disappearance day is celebrated more gorgeously because when they leave this material world out of the physical vision, one can understand what all they have contributed to the mankind. So he has written many books: Dana Keli, Kaumudi Tika, Shri Ujjvala Nilamani Kirana, Brahma Samhita Tika, Sarartha Varshani Tika, Sarartha Darshani Tika, and most for all these books, commentary now has also been written by His Holiness Bhanuswami Maharaj. Certainly, if one has read Srila Prabhupada books, if they happen to read these books, they can appreciate and increase the faith, how deep is the Siddhanta and how we can increase our madden the love for Krishna. So Raghunath Goswami, he appeared at Krishnapur, is famous for renunciation. So we are seeing his Murti and also his worshipable Radha Krishna deity at Krishnapur, which is one of the villages in Saptagram. And then his personal worshipable deity, Mahaprabhu Nityananda. And then how Saraswati runs behind that house. So he was like born in a family of Indradev. So much wealth they had, but still he had so much attachment to Mahaprabhu. After he saw Mahaprabhu at Shantipur at Advaita Acharya's house, after Mahaprabhu took sannyas, then his mind kept on running to get association of Mahaprabhu permanently. And Balaram Acharya also introduced Raghunatha Dasa Goswami to Haridas Thakur. So both the instant we can say, Haridas Thakur actually blessed him. By blessings of Haridas Thakur, Namacharya, Srila Haridas Thakur, he was able to take darshan of Mahaprabhu at Shantipur. So naturally in one's devotional life, there should be some intervention by the devotees. Then we all know that when Lord Nityananda arrived at Panihati, Raghunatha Dasa Goswami came and then offered Dandavat Pranam. He was being punished by Nityananda, and then his associate should be nicely feeded with the prasad. Then how he arranged this Chittadahi Maha Utsav festival, buying all the groceries from whatever village shop it was available. A famous festival was conducted. And Nityananda Prabhu was sitting under this banyan tree, and he was like appearing like a millions of sun and millions of moon effulgence coming from his body. And then how Lord Nityananda brought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to this place and was feeding morsel into the lotus mouth of Mahaprabhu. So everyone enjoyed this festival, this picnic festival. And Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, they were completely in the mood of Krishna Balaram, enjoying with the shakas. So this is a festival of bliss, a Panihati festival, where more people can be engaged. Festival like this can engage unlimited number of devotees in seva. And this festival now is being, by the mercy of Mahaprabhu, is celebrated all over the world. So the potency of Nityananda, he brought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here. The potency of Nityananda, he actually, when he stayed here at Raghava Bhavan, actually he decided to put a Kadamba flower. Then immediately from the tree of lemon tree, Kadamba flower started to sprout. So logic, the question of logic ends in spiritual life. We cannot ask question how Kadamba flowers can come out from a lemon tree. Spiritual world is inconceivable. Mahaprabhu's potency is inconceivable. And Mahaprabhu's associates, they are also inconceivable. And by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, Raghunatha Dasa Goswami could get permanent association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Puri. And Mahaprabhu entrusted Raghunatha Dasa Goswami to Swarup Damodar Goswami. So Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, along with Mahaprabhu and other devotees, when devotees from Mayapur arrived to Jagannath Puri, there is a place called as Atar Nalaya Bridge, where they used to welcome all the devotees with sandalwood and also a flower garland. And his spirit of renunciation, we all know that actually happiness is only in renunciation. That is the principle. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga. So when we get detached from material things and at the same time get attached to Krishna, then we get the bliss, the purpose of our existence to serve Krishna. The Prayojana Acharya of our Sampradaya is also Raghunatha Dasa Goswami. How to serve Krishna and how in the renounced order, being attached to Krishna, one can enjoy life. Enjoy life in serving Krishna. And Mahaprabhu personally gave Govardhan Sila and Gunjamala. Govardhan Sila means actually giving residence at Govardhan. And many wonderful instruction how actually bhakti is getting spoiled. One has to be conversant with this. So Mahaprabhu told you should not indulge in worldly talks, neither hear it, because whatever we hear, that becomes our thought. The thought becomes words. Words become action. Action becomes habit. Habit becomes character. And character gets reflected in the society. So we all know that how in the olden days, people hear Ramayana, Mahabharata, Krishna Katha, Rama Katha, and how it gets reflected in the society. They live peacefully in the association of devotees. Now people hear only Jada Katha, and we can see how it is getting reflected in the material society. There is only confusion and restlessness. So much powerful instruction Mahaprabhu has given to us through Raghunath Goswami. And not to eat a delicious food. Because delicious food, actually we all know that the tongue, belly and genitals, they are in the straight line. So it is very difficult to control the senses. And don't dress luxuriously, because if you dress luxuriously, you will think 100 times whether we should fall flat to offer our Dandavat Pranams to Vaishnavas or to the deities. But at the same time, if we wear ordinary clothes, we never hesitate to offer them Dandavat Pranam, even many times. So the main thing is actually one has to chant constantly and then serve the divine couple Radha Krishna mentally. And that was personally demonstrated by RaghunanadanThakur Goswami when he took up his residence at Radhakund. So we all know that he is Rati Manjari. So all these associates, when they do Manasik Seva, actually in the Siddha Deha Sarupa, they do devotional service to Radha Krishna. And his famous Samadhi Mandir is also at Radhakund. Many more pastimes also happen. But the prime teaching which we can take is Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga, the spirit of renunciation. On this glorious Vasanta Panchami day, Pundarika vidyanidhi, Vishnupriya, RaghunanadanThakur, Raghunath Goswami, Vishvanath Chakravarti Thakur, they all have maddened love for Krishna. So we have to cry to get a drop of that mercy. And certainly, this day is a festival of joy. And when we hear Katha, that is also a day of festival. With this that glories are unlimited. For our own purification daily, we have to give some input so that we get purified. And more than that, it gives a lot of pressure to Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu. Because when devotees are glorified, Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Pancha Tattva, they become very, very happy. Devotional service means to make them pleasing. So that way, when we hear the glories of Acharyas, it is certain that Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Pancha Tattva, they are certainly pleased. Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, again for such a wonderful, wonderful class and beautiful presentation about each acharyas. And it's really a virtual tour every time when you come. So thank you so much for all the pastimes which you told about Pundarika vidyanidhi, RaghunanadanThakur, Raghunath Das Goswami, Vishnupriya Devi, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So, and I'm very happy Vasant Panchami, Prabhuji, and thank you so much for giving the importance of the Vasant Panchami also. So, which says that this is the starting of the spring season, the appearance day of various acharyas, and the disappearance day of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and then about Pundarika vidyanidhi, which he told. It was he was born in Meklagram, and Vrishabhanu Maharaj, he is Vishramanu Maharaj in Krishna Leela, and he told about Radhakund, Shamakund, Govardhan in Mekhlagram, which is non-different from Vrindavan Dham, and where the opulence of Pundarik vidyanidhi. And then he told he has two residences, that is Mekhlagram and Navadip. So many people and many followers were there for Pundarik vidyanidhi, and he was a disciple of Madhvendra Puri, and Mukunda Datta and Gadadhara Pandit, when they heard about Pundarik vidyanidhi, they went to see Pundarik vidyanidhi, and then the deities are Gaurnita deities, and there is Bhajan Kutir, which is for Mukunda Datta and Vasudev, and about shloka you recited, you told, that is Srimad Bhagavatam 3.2.23, which says about the Lord's mercy on us, which says that we should have faith on Lord Shri Krishna, and you told about the pastime of Putana, and then Vodana Shashti you told, and then about so that was about Pundarik vidyanidhi, and then about Vodana Shashti you told. So in the pastime of Pundarik vidyanidhi, then Vishnupriya Mataji, Devi Dasi, so like how she was Lakshmi, and then Satyabhama, and then now Vishnupriya with Lord Chaitanya, and she's sacrifice personification, which you told, and so many various pastimes also you told, and in that the one was the marriage, the opulence marriage of Sri Vishnupriya Devi and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which was sponsored by Bhuti Mantra Khan, and about the Yokapita you told, then Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu you told, then about RaghunanadanThakur you told about the pastime of the Gopinath deity, and lastly about Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, so his disappearance day he told. So the argument which took place between Baldev Vidyabhushan and Ramanandis. So, and then lastly you told about Raghunath Goswami and the Panihati festival, and how Nitai bought Nimai and fed morsel, and so many instructions, the Bhakti instructions which was given by Mahaprabhu to Raghunath Dasa Goswami, and Radhakund is the residence of Raghunath Dasa Goswami, and he is the Ratimanjari of Srimati Radharani in eternal in Goloka, and so the Bhakti instructions which he told was we should just control our sense gratification so that we will get Krishna Prema. So which was given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Raghunath Dasa Goswami. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for such a wonderful, wonderful class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji.
Devotees, if any questions, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Very, very nice class, nice pastimes. Prabhuji, one question I had, so Pundarik vidyanidhi, what deities were they worshipping, Prabhu? Because this is pre-Mahaprabhu, right? Before even we started worshipping Mahaprabhu, right? So what deities did they worship, Prabhu? Pundarik vidyanidhi?
Pundarik vidyanidhi, usually Mahaprabhu calls Pundarik vidyanidhi as Bapu Bapu. My father is going to come. We all know that Vrishabhanu Maharaj is so much attached to his daughter Srimati Radharani as well as to Krishna. So Pundarik vidyanidhi, they are so much attached to Radha Krishna, but in Gaura Leela, certainly with Gaur Gadadhara deity, and we can say when they came here to Mayapur at that time, mostly the deities, Mahaprabhu's deity was not open in public, and Pundarik vidyanidhi also mentioned that to get a disciple like Gadadhara Pandit, who is none other than Srimati Radharani, is a great Christ jewel for devotion. So he was a staunch worshipper of Radha Krishna. But in Mahaprabhu's Leela, that was demonstrated as Gaura Gadadhara.
So his deities were Gaur Gadadhar deities.
Yeah, but at the same time, they were staunch worshippers of Mahaprabhu. So as I already mentioned, Mukunda Datta and Vasudeva Datta, they had a personal worshipable deity of Mahaprabhu at Mekhlagram also. So generally, the Gaudiya Vaishnava line Either it may be like Gaura Gadadhar or Gaur anytime.
Okay, thank you very much, Prabhu. So why he was like externally, even Gadadhar Pandit got confused, right? Why like chewing pan and so expensive, whatever, right, Prabhuji, like from Pundarika vidyanidhi's pastimes. But definitely it bewilders people, right, outside. Like if you see Raghunath Das Goswami is very simple.
So Krishna wanted to give instruction to the worldly people through Arjuna. So out of the divine arrangement, Arjuna was perplexed. He was confused, but he was Nitya Siddha. Similarly, all the instruction comes only through the intimate associates. So Pundarika vidyanidhi externally, because he wanted to give the instruction, don't judge a Vaishnava by the external appearance. So if the instruction has to be given, then actually, even if you know whether it is in a drama or a movie, generally a hero takes to himself the actor who is very well accustomed to him to play the different parts. So actually, Vrishabhanu Maharaj being a close associate of Krishna, so when Krishna came as Sri Krishna Chaitanya, he wanted to give this instruction through Pundarika vidyanidhi. A man can even be wealthy, but still he can have so much devotion to Krishna. A man can be in a poverty condition and at the same time he can't even have a tinge of devotion to Krishna. So the externality doesn't matter. It's actually only the internal devotion that matters. So for that reason only.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. One general question I have, Prabhu, like when Goswamis or Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wrote so many books, how they were preserved, Prabhu, like in the over a period of 300-400 years, like.
The Goswamis have written book, Baladev Vidyabhushan, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Actually, there is like a Vaishnava, a bit like a library. It's being maintained. There we have the original manuscripts. Even Kolkata, we have this Bhakti Vedanta archives, where actually even some versions of the Goswamis written manuscripts are also being maintained. So whenever some person has to write a commentary, like His Holiness Bhanusami Maharaj writes commentary on these various Acharya's books. So naturally, they also get the mula, the original manuscript from that place. From that only they have to write. So actually, some are being lost, some are being preserved, but whatever it may be, even whatever is being preserved is like an ocean. So there are, it's like an ocean to dive in. Certainly at the point of time, naturally, some may be disappeared, but still Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they are maintaining, like even in Denur, where Chaitanya Bhagavat was written, we are still preserving the originality. Like in Jamatpur, where Kusharasa Kaviraja Goswami has written Chaitanya Charitamrita, still the original Chaitanya Charitamrita is being preserved. So that is also being done.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Dandavat.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for such a wonderful class.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna,
for such a
Prabhuji.
wonderful
Very
class.
nice presentation, very beautiful class. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, devotees, let's pay our obeisances to Prabhuji. Vanchakalpatrupasya Kapasana Vaishnavya Namo Namah Anantakoti Vaishnavya Ki Jai. His Grace Jivan Hari Das Prabhuji Ki Jai. Raj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Glories to all the Acharyas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
devotees, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you everyone for joining today's class. We'll meet again tomorrow. Hari Bol.